Hello, everybody. Welcome to the daily uh, Tarot and Astrology here on the Black and Orange channel. Thank you for being here. I'm here literally every single day of the year to take your political questions or questions about society. Just throw them in the chat. I don't do personal readings, but anything that kind of affects us all, just throw it in the chat before I come on. We have got epic troll slayers. Thank you. Thank you for keeping us safe. You make this possible.
Oh yeah.
And you've made this possible for us to build this great community here. And thank you for being a part of everybody. Thank you for being a part of this community. You've been so kind to each other and so kind to us. Thank you. And if you're watching on replay, hello. You can go down in the description box because all the questions are there. Miss Sarah will be time stamping as we go.
Absolutely.
And or you can watch back on like 1.25 speed or whatever works for you. All right, I'm trying to find the right page. There it is. All right, because I get lost.
Refresh. Yes.
I will put that there and I will refresh because I get lost. So I need to see the questions. Just being real.
Oh yeah. All right, everybody. Bum, ba-da-bum. It has been.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
I was going to say, it has been a year of a week, and we are on day 6 of this administration. Congratulations on surviving. Seriously.
Yep.
With your sanity as intact as it is.
Yep.
Mine is questionable at the moment. All right. But
so much stuff.
We are not without smiles where we can get them, though. For instance, Mexico refused to accept the 2 military planes that held deportees, forcing the landings to happen in Guatemala instead. How will this affect things moving forward? Mexico said, well, they didn't call ahead. They didn't let us know they were coming. You can't just roll up and dump people. Like, you got to let us know. Like, you can't just, yeet. So, Each of those gigantic, huge military planes, those cargo planes that they used to send hundreds of soldiers over at a time, only had like 88 immigrants each on them. So talk about a waste of resources and money. Like, both planes could have been one plane.
And again, I'm telling you, thank heavens they're just going. They're not doing this the way they could if they were anything but completely ineffective, or mainly ineffective.
Right.
So, man, yeah, they had a plan. It's not a good plan, but it's a plan, or it was.
The concept of something, yes.
Yeah, they had the concept of a plan.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Just trying to cause a bunch of chaos and give people grief. This is not winning them much support. This is not going to end well. You're just picking on the poor, and these are people who are needed in this country. People who are working, people who are helping us.
Inadvertently paying taxes. Sales tax. Yeah.
Yep. But actually, I'm pleased to see there's no major arcana here. So I'm hoping they continue to. I feel bad for the people who have been removed, who are not, as long as they're not, violent criminals kind of thing. Because they've gone into they're going into schools.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So as long as they continue to be ineffectual, I feel bad for the people who are being displaced and moved and traumatized by this. But at the same time, I'm just glad that these idiots don't have the, let's just say, they're not they're not the kind of Germans who can keep the trains running on time.
From what I understand, they attempted to go into a school, and it did not go well.
Good.
So there is a resistance among educators. If you go on TikTok, most teachers are in agreement, and school workers are just like, no, there's, in fact, one teacher noted that you've been telling me for years that I need to be willing to take a bullet for my students, but yet you think I'm just going to hand them over to somebody who's walking through the door? No, those are my babies. Try again another day.
Good.
Right. Yes.
Thank you, Carolyn. Gifted 20 memberships to random people in the chat. Thank you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Thank you.
Marianne says that was misinformation, that it was a Secret Service that was coming in looking for someone, but we'll see.
Yep.
If that, yeah.
Elena, I'm so sorry. Just hang in there. Oh, whoever it was. Yeah. No.
Yeah. Going forward at 6:30, the U.S. has frozen nearly all foreign aid effective immediately. U.S. State Department has frozen nearly all foreign assistance worldwide effective immediately days after the Spiced Squanderer issued a sweeping executive order Monday to put a hold on such aid for 90 days. What kind of effect will this have? I mean, we already know, but...
Let me guess. Israel wasn't included.
Not to my knowledge.
Have to make sure Netanyahu gets lots of money. I don't like Netanyahu.
Neither do I.
Okay, the best diplomats understand the concept of both stick and carrot. Carrot and stick.
Yes.
These idiots, no. No carrot. Nope, just stick. That's my card of racism. I didn't want to have a card of racism, and I didn't until I started reading on these jerks. Yeah. But tell me what a Christian you are? Yeah. Ace of Pentacles. It's a huge amount of money, and it's actually it's not really a huge part of the budget. The size of the U.S. federal budget, and then how much this foreign aid is not much. If they really wanted to cut spending, they could really cut spending. But funny how they're going after things that might be, I don't know, kind.
Yeah.
And it isolates us. And every time he opens his mouth, every time something new comes out, more people overseas who are potential allies are turning off the TV, turning away. They're like, yep, the U.S. is basically, we have to ignore it for at least the next 4 years. As much as we can.
It would be a completely different thing if we were experiencing severe economic hardship and we have to take care of our own people before we could take care of other folks. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. So if that were the case and it was like, hey guys, sorry, we got to bow out for a minute. We got to take care of our people. That's a whole different, but this money's not going to anything except for pockets. It's, All right.
But tell me about the tax cuts for the super rich.
Yeah, that part. Oh, Lordy. Okay. 10 minutes in, Thursday evening, the Goldenrod Grifter deputized thousands of federal agents to arrest immigrants by adding them to ICE. These agents come from the Department of Justice, law enforcement officials, including U.S. Marshals, DEA, the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco and Firearms, and the Federal Bureau of Prisons. So now we have prison officers that are able to just swoop in and snatch up immigrants. There are concerns about, quote, interagency competition and the potential for widespread civil rights abuses, given the complexities of immigration law. Well, yes. I mean, how do I put this kindly? Depending on what type of officer you are, there's different educational requirements for each. And when I say different education, I mean, you don't need to be schooled in so many law complexities depending on where you're at. You know, like a guard doesn't need to know unless he just wants to study it. He had, you know, all the complexities about immigration law or whatnot. And so now these people just have a sweeping license to.
And don't be so gentle with them. Remember all that mess?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hold on, says untrained people doing bad things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, jeez. All kinds of law enforcement officers. Heartache. And then I got 2 cards for the end, which is Queen of Wands and the Fool. So the group of MAGA and then Cheetolini. What happens here is bad. And this is law enforcement, decent law enforcement people have been saying this for decades. That you do not want to go after, you don't want local law enforcement going after these people because they start hiding. They stop coming forward with charges, you know, with chargeable offenses by other people.
All right.
You get more domestic violence that goes on unchecked. You get more awfulness of all kinds to children, to the weak, to you know, all this stuff, and then people won't come forward.
Right.
And it doesn't just stay in, well, it just stays, that kind of thing is just poor on poor, because they call the pores, like, that's a name. That's just poor on poor violence over there. No, it doesn't stay over there.
Yeah. It's not like there's an invisible force field. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, 14 minutes in. Yesterday, somebody was talking about this in chat too. Yesterday, I had the misfortune of being in a confined space with Sean Hannity on the radio. For a few minutes. I know there was nothing I could do. It wasn't my vehicle. And the person driving me was doing me a favor at the time because I had to go pick up somebody else's car. Anyway, not the point. The point is, Hannity was discussing his recent interview with Mango Mussolini, and there is talk of removing FEMA completely. Now, the way that the con man car salesman is trying to sell this bill of goods to everyone is that, oh, well, the federal funding would be the same. Like, you know, if somebody declared an emergency and needed federal funds, they'd still get the funds. But what would happen is instead of things having to go through FEMA, we could just give it directly to the states. And then the states could decide how that is dispersed, and they could better help their own people. Now, it sounds all well and good when propped up like that.
No, it really doesn't, but go ahead.
Somebody who doesn't understand how government works. And the Lord knows they love the uneducated. But we all know when you have that, there's prime opportunity for corruption. I come from Louisiana. Trust me when I say we know all about corrupt governors. It's sort of what we do. Yeah. So there's that. There's no paper trail. It's just gone. And then who's to say that the government's going to send the money that they say they're going to send?
Yeah. There are other things. There's connections. It's coordinating between states to get the right stuff and personnel, et cetera, et cetera. You need somebody who has all those connections, who can coordinate all of that. I do not see how this would be anything but people putting money in their own pockets.
Yep. So how's this going to go? How's this going to? Yeah.
Are we actually going to? Are they actually going to get rid of FEMA? Okay. It's not as bad as I was afraid of. Card for the reading, there is hope. All right. So there's still hope. These are their ideas. They're myopic, self-centered ideas. We'll do it ourselves. We'll do it live. All the people displaced, and where do they go? And as soon as you cross state lines, you're done. I mean, it's a mess. And yeah, they're pushing all this kind of garbage, but it's not going to go well at all. And this would look very bad for them.
Yeah.
The good news, I mean, I do have hope for the reading. It's the card for the reading, and there's no major arcana here. So there's something. It's something. But will they try it? They might. Or either that or just, put a tourniquet on them and just kind of try to starve out the...
Yeah. Funny, those words. 1830, Cosmic Goat Lady has a question. This is true. Paula is wise.
I believe that's the Mighty Quinn.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a little mustache. Okay.
Oh, goodness. Cosmic Goat Lady has a question. Will the Caviar Conman succeed in cutting off welfare and food stamp support, basically causing thousands to starve?
So federal, not state, obviously.
Well, the state gets the money from federal. It's all it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Raymond, you're not wrong.
Oh.
They have plans. Okay. I'll ask for some more clarification. The card for the reading is what we know what would happen. We know what would happen. People would be hurt. Children would be hurt. So here's the country. Here's the fact that we have a huge population, we have absolute ability to help each other. And my personal belief, down to my soul, that there is no reason for any child in the United States of America to ever go hungry. Ever. But they have plans. Well, maybe they don't need as much. Meanwhile, this is the card of retirement and cruise ships and Mar-a-Lago and vacations, and this is an administration of income inequality on parade. So let me see how bad it's going to get. See, it's not straightforward. They're not going to get everything they want, and some of the stuff they'll only get it for a certain amount of time. But this could do a lot of damage. See, I'm just getting bad energy. Period. One, I'm getting this is a clock basically, and it's like it's not going to be forever. They're going to complain it's a huge amount of money, and they're going to feel beaten up because they're not helping those who need help as much. I don't think it's just going to be this, and I don't think they're just going to cut everything. Like there's none. It's going to be a hard few years here, and we're going to have to do what we can and be sensible with what we can. And I would love to say I've got a better feeling about all of this, but we didn't win the election. Now, whether we should have, whether there were shenanigans, as it is, the effect is
on paper
we didn't win the election. Yeah. We didn't win the election.
Right. At 22:35, Cindy asks, can you read about the felon's encouragement and maybe even his paying J6 convicts to form a militia for him at some point?
He said the Proud Boys have a place in politics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The arrogant toddlers. I believe at least one of them has already been rearrested.
Mm.
Let's just say that also, if you've been reading about this, let's just say that the police officers from that day are unimpressed. Thief card. Letting these awful people out. There was justice. Letting the Gen 6 people out. They were suffering. But there are people really suffering. This is a big card of illness. People who were attacked that day, officers, but Trump using the government. Let me see if I can get any more information. So is the felon going to try to turn these people into his own something, like he did on Jan 6?
Right.
Yeah. Thief. Lack of justice. Yeah. One of the many awful things that the felon has done. there are family members who actually turn some of these people in. And now they've got to worry for their own safety.
Yeah.
I've got Judgment, I've got a Death card, and a Queen of Wands. It's a mixed bag. A lot of these people, they are self-destructive, and they can't hold it together. They can't go without getting rearrested. They can't go without. They have anger issues. They've got, you name it. They've got issues, and they get themselves into trouble. But a group of MAGA here, it's also, you can't look at the group as a monolith. Some of them he may find some use for. Others are just, they're going to go back to prison because they can't stay out. There might be a small number of them who are just like, you know what?
Yeah.
But
all right.
We're going to get through this, everybody. We are.
Yes, we are. We are.
We are. It's just, and we look, but this is why we do this. This is, news with friends.
Community.
We do this. We're doing this together. We're doing this as a community. We're helping each other with information and with having somebody to talk to.
Mm-hmm.
And talking the truth, saying what's really going on wherever we can find the truth. And it makes a big difference. So
yes, Carol, this first week has been hard. It's been a year of a week, sweetheart, but we're here and we're making it. And we have each other. So all right. 2710. Okay. Yes, Pimda, that is correct. It hasn't even been a week. Yeah. Some good news. Oh. Daniel, yes. I'll rearrange this question and bump it up. It's not. It's interesting. Oh, goodness. Hang on one second.
No, you're fine. Sorry about that. Al needed me for a second. True. Hold on. Exactly. While you're doing that, just wanted to point out,
yes,
that JFK's grandson,
Jack Schlossberg.
Schlossberg, yeah,
I love
he is. Yeah, he's a national treasure.
Yes,
and he has basically spent the last at least week, if not more, trolling the idiot side of his family
and the new administration. Yeah,
and the new administration.
Yeah.
He's got some great shorts up on YouTube. And there's one in particular that jumped out to me, which was this song. This is for Usha Vance, the most beautiful woman in the world. It's not too late.
You can leave him.
You can leave him. I'm here for you. It's not too late. It was glorious.
Yeah.
And so I went to AstroTheme. I was curious. They're both in the AstroTheme database. So I went to the Celeste Star, which compares their two celebrities that will be in their database. And you know what? After looking at the astrology between them, I don't know that he's kidding 100%. Honestly, because they're both lawyers. They
Mhm.
both went to Ivy League schools.
Mhm.
His goal in life is to be a grandfather.
Yes, that made me just. I cried. I cried. He's like, all I want is just to be surrounded by just, just grandchildren, and I was like,
Yep. And
he's JFK's grandson. So
yes, JFK's grandson. So she's already got some kids. That's a start, you
Yes.
know. But no, and it was just so funny to look at. It was like, oh my gosh, her sun and her Venus, her femininity, it's right in his first house, right up near his ascendant. So her whole being, her sense of self and her femininity is like right in his face. And he's just like, ooh. And her moon is conjunct his Pluto. So he's like enthralled. Pluto's all about passion and can be obsession if it goes bad, but it doesn't always have to go bad. But right there with her moon, and so her emotional nature, it's like, ooh. So it was just funny.
Yes.
It was just funny. It's like, first of all, it was funny that he did the thing, and
Yes.
secondly, I can see why even if he didn't mean it literally, I mean, you'd have to think of that. And
Right.
I can see why he thought of that.
Yeah.
And he is single. By the way, he was born in 93, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And and he says he does not have a Valentine
This year. Right.
this year. And he's taking essays.
Yes. I sent it to my oldest. I was like, there's only an 8-year age gap. He's well educated. And he seems like good people. I approve if you so choose. I feel like one of those moms on Bridgerton, like trying to set my child up with the aristocracy. So the mothers of the ton. So yes. But yeah. He also did a thing calling out Joe Rogan, wanting Rogan to have his cousin back on now that
RFK Jr.
Now that the JFK info has been declassified, he's like, yeah, everything that my cousin came on and said was not true.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's not true. There's proof. He said, so why don't you bring him back? Go back. Go line by line and ask him why he lied. Ask him why I was like, oh, okay. So, but yes, I love Jack.
Yep.
All right.
70 says it's Sarah the matchmaker.
I mean, all right. At 33:10, Daniel asked for a little bit of good news. This is what I got. It's not necessarily good, but it's amusing. So Gavin Newsom appeared to not to put up with the Mango Menace's bravado when they met on the tarmac in California. Newsom was not scheduled to greet Air Force One. In fact, Trump pretty much said, I'm just going to go out there and talk. But no, and they disembarked down the ramp. There was Newsom just standing at the foot of the steps, hand out. So, yeah, he was there when the Oompa Outlaw disembarked. A handshake tug of war ensued, with the internet calling it in Newsom's favor because they went in, they shook, and you could see like they are shaking, and then they did the bro hug thing where they're whispering Lord only knows what into each other's ear, and they back up, and Trump does his thing, and Newsom does his thing, and it's like and then finally Newsom just and Trump's having to do his like big lean into him. And I was like, oh, he got you, buddy. He got you. The internet is calling this in Newsom's favor and calling Velveeta Voldemort a beta male.
Oh, jeez.
Well, Cheetolini acknowledged that he can't win this one.
No, I'm not even gonna. No.
Yeah. What's the question on that one?
I want to read on a little bit about the future of Newsom.
Okay.
Maybe not like years from now, but over the next few years. Queen T. Royal said that if Charles Manson was still alive, Trump would make him head of state.
I mean, you're not wrong.
No.
Good lordy.
There was the comedian who said that, he's listing off all the people of who were in the cabinet and all of these and the leader, and then all these awful people, and then he's how did he put it? He's nominating the Tiger King for Health and Human Services, and then he just kept talking, and he gets to the end of the comedian gets to the end, and he goes, by the way, the thing about the Tiger King wasn't real, but you had to think about it for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Newsom. He's going to be one of the leaders of the resistance. That's what I've got. At least that's his goal. Right now, the felon is just, we've said he's in his honeymoon phase of look at me and my victory, and this little person in his little state. Yeah, that's the thing, though, that you're going to be very disappointed if you think that felon's going to be very disappointed if he thinks that he can just blow off California.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot. And it's just a matter of time. And Dumpy's quote unquote success rate has a very limited time.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I know the little state. We're the 6th GDP in the world. Yeah. We know that. But hang on.
Go ahead.
Is it Maji said she took off her hat for Newsom? Oh, was Melania there?
Melania was there. Yeah, she flew in. She was there. It was looking like she was going on a safari.
She's done that one before.
Yeah.
Dr. Livingston, I presume.
Right. Yeah. Now, somebody was asking why she came. I mean, in major disasters, there has been a precedent in the past of like Hillary would go with Bill sometimes. Michelle would fly out every now and then with Barack to go look at stuff. I mean, it's not even back in the day. Eleanor Roosevelt would go and look at things on occasion. So while we might not enjoy seeing her, that in and of itself is not necessarily outside the realm of normality.
Right. And he has paid her to do this.
This is true. She needs to earn it some which way. So
entertainment only YouTube. Yes, and Newsom got a kiss on the cheek. Yeah. Whereas we know what happened on Inauguration Day.
All right. At 38:40. Cosmic Goat Lady says, will or is the Toffee Trickster blackmailing with money Tyson, the huge veggie / fruit farm companies and construction companies that are heavily dependent on undocumented immigrants to keep them on the bottom of the ICE list?
Oh,
that's a good question.
Oh, my surprise meter would stay at 0.
Yeah, it must. I wouldn't be surprised, but I don't know. Well, I mean,
there's lobbying.
Is yeah,
but there's lobbying. I mean, there was lobbying before. There's him, the emperor. Refusal to listen to any kind of kindness or reasonable. These people. It's hard to get people to fill these jobs. This is legislation. This is sitting pretty. This is fruits of labor. this just feels like lobbying, regular lobbying, which means you're padding the pockets of all kinds of politicians.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that it's any more than normal. I don't know that it's directly, believe me, that Dumpster really wishes that more of this money was going directly into his pocket.
Oh, yeah.
Hang on, let me double check. I got 2 cards in the middle. Yeah, I don't think they're going to stay at the bottom. I've been saying this. This is the year to, buy things while you can. Maybe start having, if you're not a vegetarian, maybe, meatless Mondays or something, because what I'm getting here, it was under the Biden administration, things came back from the pandemic, but now it's a bunch of lies and hurting people. I got 2 cards for the middle. I got the Page of Swords and the Hangman. And that's the bullying, the racism, the bullying. Mm-hmm. I got Judgment in the Tower. So I think prices are going to go up. I don't want them to. I know how many people that's going to hurt. I know how many. I'm like I said, I'm here. I'm doing this live stream. I am. I'm trying to help. But I can't change.
Right.
I can't change what's going to happen. I'm not casting spells. I'm just reading on the collective energy.
Nettie, I think there's a little bit of a disconnect. What this kid meant was it was like the outfit that she wore after all of the hurricane damage in Puerto Rico, not a Puerto Rican outfit. I think there was some verbiage that was a little mistranslated. Because right after the where he was yeeting the rolls of paper towels, that was after the I don't really care, do you outfit. So yeah, I think that's what they meant, not that was a Puerto Rican outfit as in Puerto Ricans. So there we go. Okay, I got that right. All right. Sorry. Just wanted to.
No, you have nothing to apologize for. I'm just.
Yeah, because right now everybody's nerves and energy is just like.
Yeah.
And so it's easy to go, wait, hold up. So, all right. Whew. At 43.25. 43.25. Sharon says, has Tantrump Toddler stopped all intelligence going to Biden, Harris, Obama, etc., out of retaliation for Joe not allowing him to receive any? If so, are they still able to receive the intel elsewheres? Because what's supposed to happen is after one leaves the office, they have the opportunity to still get briefings daily on what's going on. That stopped with Trump. So
I think this would be a Google question.
Okay.
Mark says it's only day 5. Geez, that's how we feel. 5 of the longest flipping days. Yeah, he's petty.
Yeah. All right.
Just in general, those would be cards of selling information, getting money with top secret information that could do a lot of damage. Now, there's a plan causing worry in the intelligence community. Page of Swords. They are feeling rather weak, and he is a bully. Not liking the death card there, but the Seven of Wands. This is the far right being more on the defensive, but he's petty. So.
All right.
Oh, Goral.
What do
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Now is also a time to fine-tune any skills that you may have, and any skills, because if there's bartering is a thing. So if there's anything that, yes, the minutes have passed like years, absolutely. Bartering is a thing. And so anything that we can do that gives us a leg up over current prices or currency or whatever.
You used to do the couponing.
Yes. That's going to need to be a thing again. Yes.
Is that still done?
It's harder to do. The golden age is done. It used to be, I mean, I could feed a lot of us on a budget of like $150 a month, and I'd feed like 9
Your family's
people.
huge.
Yeah, and I was feeding more people then too. So I was feeding like 9 people on $150 a month, and that included like paper goods and beauty items as well. And I still had excess that I would trade, like our hairdresser. I would roll up and I'd be like, okay, I've got a trunk full of paper goods and household cleaners and whatnot. And she'd be like, cool, you have my afternoon. Anybody needs cut, color, whatever, I got you. And so, yeah, but it's a little trickier these days. But it's definitely something that needs to be worked on. All right. Moving forward at 4750. Heather has a question. Oh, thank you guys. This was years ago, back when it was a lot easier to do that. But thank you. You're very sweet. Heather has a question. I saw a few news items about the Senate having enough votes to impeach Orangina. Will we see another impeachment attempt while the Cantaloupe Crook is in office? At any point while he's there, will somebody attempt to impeach him?
Well, I don't imagine there are enough votes to impeach him in the Senate right now, considering Republicans are in control.
It would be very, very close, like extremely tight.
It would be close, and that has to start in the House.
Yes. Oh yeah.
But yeah, okay. Well, will he get impeached for the third time? He's got Republicans protecting him. Does he take actions that he ends up very much on the defensive for? Yes, there's the emperor. He's the emperor right in the middle. Abuse, potentially, entertainment only YouTube, potential abuse of power. These cards are kind of weak. The 5 of Cups and the 8. Yeah, 5 of Cups and the 8 of Cups. This is disappointment, and this is kind of walking away.
Yeah.
Unfinished. These aren't as strong as I would want them to be. Then again, he might there might come a point where if things look bad enough, he goes, you know what? I don't feel well. I'm just gonna, he's gonna, try to take his money, and if his health holds up, I think I'm going to retire to Saudi Arabia or something stupid,
Oh, goodness. All right. At 50:30, Sharon has a question. Go ahead.
Just one second. Anne said 2026, the year for peach mints.
Hey.
That sounds delightful.
Yes, absolutely. All right. When I read this question, because of everything, I had to stop and reread this question. Because the question reads, it's from Sharon Rice, how does the SS feel about protecting the Sepia Scammer now that he is throwing out his horrid executive orders? And I was like, well, if it's the SS, they don't care. But they meant Secret Service.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I was like, I think that's Secret Service, but yeah.
They meant Secret Service, but I'm like, sure, the SS is fine with it.
Yeah. It's hard I think it gets hard for us to tell whether you mean Secret Service or you mean the group around him.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to change that to Secret Service just so YouTube doesn't go.
All right, Secret Service. They're more focused on how do we keep them safe. It honestly does feel like they're much more. They're focused on the attempts that happened that should never have happened. We're very much against violence in politics. Very, very much. They're focused on that. They're just worried on how do we keep who's a threat, who's not. When he's out amongst people doing that, trying to keep him safe and alive, and they're working. So I'm not getting a whole lot other than especially because of the attempts. They are focused on doing their jobs right now. I mean, I'm not saying they didn't always, but we know for a while there it got a little political. But right now I'm getting, on the whole, very focused.
I'm going to make a comment real quick because you're talking about some of the in chat, some of the readings that other readers have gotten, and I'm going to make this comment as someone who is not a reader but has been on the fringe for a while. So please correct me, dear, if I'm wrong on this. It's the collective energy, and the collective energy right now is scary.
Yes,
and the collective energy right now is funky.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean that is absolute in steel, in concrete forever. Things change. Things are always in motion. So there is always a chance for good things to happen, for things to get better. Prepare for the worst and hope for the best. But let's not get caught up in the minutia of everything sucks and it's going to suck forever, and because then we stop. We have to try to find our joy where we can, because that's not good for your psyche at all to live in that space. It's hard to get out of it sometimes, trust me. I know. But just know that readers, they're looking at the energy of now. So let's not be that.
Yeah. And Mark is saying it's all in play right now. Right. And the astrologies.
Right. Yeah, you've got to throw that
this
in
year.
There. Yeah.
Huge. And what I have just picked up over and over and over is that if the more sensible we are,
Mm-hmm.
the more, that's in astrology. I'm not saying that this is necessarily like Saturn's at the center of this or anything. It's not, but there is one cool thing about Saturn in general, because Saturn is the wet blanket. It's no fun.
Right.
It rules Capricorn, the workaholic.
Right.
But the good thing about Saturn is it will reward you if you do the work.
Yes.
And if you are willing, obviously bad things can happen, but the more all of us, the more time we spend organizing, budgeting, making and doing and fixing and, doing all of this work,
Right.
the better we're going to get through this time period. And I keep getting that over and over.
Right.
The thing about the Great Depression is that, and it's going to sound weird, but there were a lot of people who the effect on them was actually minimal, and it wasn't the super rich. There were some people in the middle class who they just managed to be super sensible. They happen to be in a position where maybe their town wasn't affected as much.
Mm-hmm.
The Depression didn't hit everywhere. I mean, it hurt, but it didn't hit everyone 100% the same way. So, for what it's worth, I just keep. GM Dave says I'm beginning to pack a pantry. There you go. I can't say that what we do will make everything perfect, but I just keep getting over and over that if we do the work, we will be in a better position, to make it through this. And with community and kindness and being sensible, and tightening our belts for a while, as much as we can. I know some people are on a fixed income. There's only so much you can do.
Right.
But it will help us. That I do get. It will help us. So.
Right. Oh yeah. So yeah, the whole while things look funky, we cannot lose hope. The whole, just what I was trying to say, but I went around in a circle saying.
Oh, and I talk too much.
Oh no! You're good. I didn't quite get to my point as succinctly as possible. So there is a lot of because energy is but we have to keep a grain of hope. Exactly, Miss Gibson. We have each other, so we're going to be okay.
R.D. Lewis says, my parents grew up in the 30s in Arkansas and Oklahoma. How? And their stories about the difficulties surviving that are brutal. I believe it. I mean, prime Dust Bowl. Mm-hmm. Brutal. So.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, do you even look at the last two, or are we going to roll those over and look at them tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I'm not dealing with Hank Seth right now. I can't. Forgive me.
No, you're good. You were good.
I don't want to read on him and get a contact high.
Get a contact, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Old Silver says, then we got the New Deal and Roosevelt. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Whew. Yeah, I don't want to smell of alcohol for the rest of the day.
All right. Well, then that is going to do it for us for today.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here.
And it's Patreon.
That's right. Tonight is Patreon. Links in the description. There are not super expensive tiers for what it's worth. But this evening, the last Saturday of every month, we get together and you can come on screen. And it's a private live stream, only patrons are there, but I can have up to 9 people on screen with me, and you can talk directly to each other, put faces to names. And some people just decide to stay in the chat. That's fine too. You'll still be able to see who some of the people are, from the chat. But we talk directly. We have discussions. It's a lot of fun, and it's community again. But anyway, that is tonight at 7 p.m. Chicago time. Usually goes for about an hour and a half. So anyway, thank you so much. That is this evening. And other than that, at 3 o'clock, we'll be over on the Creative Sprints. So you're always welcome there too. What do you talk about? Politics? A lot of politics, not all. It just depends what comes up, what people are really thinking about, what they're focusing on. Sometimes they ask about tarot reading. Sometimes they ask about, astrology, or they ask about, whatever people want to talk about. So
it's like a campfire chat. Everybody just shows up. It's BYOS. Bring your own s'mores. So,
there we go.
Yes.
And Guamzilla says, love the socials. Oh, good. Thank you. Yeah, and I Arlene, see you tonight. Oh, excellent. Thank you. Yeah, it's the Patreon socials, last Saturday of every month at 7 p.m. Chicago time. That's this evening. All right. But as usual, it is not farewell. It is I will see you later, because you can always find me. I'm here. So, and thank you for everything. So take care. You're not alone. We're in this together.
Absolutely.
And there are good days ahead. They're out there. There are. So hang in there. All right. And we'll see you later.